Happy Valentine's Day.
Hey, y'all. gotta bring out the pom-poms and the
Yeah.
hearts of love.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Well, I love the red that you're wearing today, Tim.
So let's get this out of the way. Tim lost his bet and is wearing a Chiefs jersey because the Chiefs won yesterday. I still gotta say, it was an awesome game.
Yeah.
I wish it turned out the other way, but I gotta tell you, the way the Chiefs played, they deserved the win. All right, they did.
Right.
They played that second half really good. So, yeah, I'm still an Eagles fan, but I will honor my debt. I will honor my debt. I'm wearing my Chiefs jersey because Mr. Duswalt and I made a little bet, and I'm honoring it. So
There you go.
yeah. So other than that, you know what I mean? It's I will wear it for this podcast, and I wear it on my one other podcast, and then I have to wear it at his event, and I think he's going to make me wear it on stage at his event.
Of course he is.
Of course.
Hello.
Hey, when he wins, he wins.
You just gotta respect it. You got it because the thing is that if the Eagles had won, it would have been the other way around.
Yeah, if it was the other way around, you know what I mean? Yeah, I would have wrote it too. So it's come on. All right, we got to enjoy this. So anyway, but it was a fun. It was a good game. All right. Congratulations to Chiefs and you Chief fans. All right, for winning. All right, and that's 2 and 4 years for the Chiefs. Really good, man. Really, really good. So yeah. So anyway, so now that we moved on from that.
Okay, I had to bring it up. I couldn't let you not say anything about it. Oh, let's not look at the elephant in the room.
Yes. I still am not changing my lights back here. I should have changed them all to green today, but I didn't.
Are you right? Or red?
Yeah, I didn't change. I was not going to change them to red.
Oh, well, I'm going to get some pictures of some yummy food over here.
All right, food shots today. All right, today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, is about champagne and chocolates. When you think Valentine's, first of all, our Valentine's dinner, Gwen and I went last night I got her Valentine's dinner last night because tomorrow night I actually have an event and we can't do it. So we just did something a couple days early. And there was a hotel here in Dallas that did actually Grapevine, Texas, that did they call it Winter Wonderland.
Okay.
And we went out to dinner there, and they're in those igloo bubbles, which we had dinner inside of a bubble outside, as it turns out.
Oh, fun. I've done those. They're so much fun.
Yeah. I wanted to do something like that up here at the house because we literally can see stars up here. But anyway, we went to experience that, had a great dinner, enjoyed the time with my wife. And then, but most people, that's what they do. They go out for some dinner with their sweetheart. All right. And there's usually a big dessert. All right. We decided to tone down. All right. And talk about the two basics. All right. Celebration. All right. And chocolate. Who doesn't love chocolate?
Right? And then when you pair chocolate and bacon, there's a lot of things that you can do and it doesn't necessarily have to be super sweet. So there's multiple things that you can do.
So
one of the things that I made, which took hours and hours, this is just a little serving, but this is my beef bourguignon. So this is, oh my goodness, I'm getting potatoes all over me. Oh no, that wasn't potatoes. That was my heavy whipping cream that I made.
Oh, okay. So this is the part about having a food podcast is the food ends up on you.
It does. So with the beef.
Wait a minute. Oh, food on me. Oh, am I thinking of an idea right now?
Oh, he watches the podcast. He's going to remind you. So
Anyway, continue.
So,
I want to hear what's in this. What? So
so
what?
the beef bourguignon, it's essentially stew meat. But
Mhm.
as I was looking at the meat, it was like, do I want to buy this one? Well, the ribeye was on sale,
Mhm.
so opted to buy ribeye, cut it into pieces, and make it into my stew meat. And
Yeah.
so did that. So it has you make the bacon. So first it's bacon because
Mhm.
bacon, and then
Cause yeah,
you
that's the other Valentine's food.
right. So this one is like enriched with a lot of things. So um, I clean off the pan because I want to get rid of all the extra stuff. But I kept the bacon fat, put it back in, did the little piece of steak, which is now steak stew or
Mhm.
stew pieces, added onion, pulled that out, added onions and carrots. Then once that was all nice and soft, I added red wine, another thing, red wine,
Yeah.
and then I added from the bones that and stuff that I had the other pieces I had pulled away from the meat. I had made a beef broth, so then I threw that in there too. So once that was all done, then I thickened it with a little bit of cornstarch. Then I added the beef back in, and I cooked it for 2 hours. Then I added the pearl onions and mushrooms, and then I cooked it for like another 45 minutes. So this literally cooked for three hours. And then before I finished with it, I added chocolate bits
I
of
was hoping
chocolate.
chocolate was somewhere in there.
Yes,
What's
it
the
was
theme
at the
today?
end. It was at the end. That
Okay.
was, and then that was mixed in, and it was like a half a cup, three-fourths of a cup of chocolate chips. But they were threw that in there and made it, and it was like, oh my goodness, absolutely delicious. Um, so served it with mashed potatoes. The other thing that I made, which was a little different for me, was this banana chocolate almond cake. So this one was made with almond flour, almond butter, two mashed bananas, and chocolate chips, and pieces of almonds. The thing that this was missing was more sugar. There was no added sugar to it.
But the
So it,
bananas should give a lot of sugar. I know that's one of the things about bananas. Yeah.
especially if they're ripe, that's when you have the ripe bananas will give the sugar, but it was not enough. I think the chips that I used, because they were bittersweet or semi-sweet, I think these were the semi. I bought like three different types of. So this one was actually nice in that it wasn't overly sweet, but one of the things that you could do, oh, and it has milk in it, or milk alternative. I did add milk. It called for non-dairy milk. Heavy whipping cream or
Hmm.
ice cream, and that'll sweeten it up. And then the last thing that I made were these delicious chocolate covered strawberries that I dipped them, and then let's give it the view on this direction. And then I made the heavy whipping cream today myself. So heavy whipping cream. So I made the whipped cream from heavy whipping cream, a little bit of stevia, as well as I used the Torin, the stuff that the vanilla flavored. You can also use vanilla extract to make
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I've used a vanilla syrup in mine, but
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. So it was the syrup that I used. And so that was that. And then, of course, there's some chocolate covered dates right here. And then, of course, your assortment of chocolate. So that was kind of my, and I was going to make fudge, not fudge, mousse. And that was going to take me a moment. I had to let it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to skip that. I have plenty of chocolate in my life. I will. I will go
Well,
this direction, and so try some new stuff, new recipes, some paleo, gluten free. The only thing that I didn't do on this one was the dairy free, because there are eggs and milk in it. So
okay. Well, I mean, the things you can do with chocolate, even adding it to, I mean, like I've added chocolate to my chili.
oh
You
yeah,
know? Yeah,
bacon. Put the
yeah.
bacon back in there too. So bacon and chocolate. You can add. So mole was another one. That one also takes a while to make. Mole has chocolate in it. If you're using high quality cacao, that's
Mhm.
perfect. So there's a lot of things you can make. If you just are going to be experimenting, sure, why not? Chocolate cover or bacon covered dates, and then add a little bit of chocolate in there, drizzle.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need is a little drizzle.
This is so true. All right. It's just, and actually, one of the things that we did when I was working at Starbucks, my old roommate Janie and I, we were working a shift one night, and because we thought about making the whipped cream with vanilla into it,
Okay.
we added chocolate syrup to it one night
Oh,
and made a
okay.
chocolate whipped cream.
There you go.
So
You can add various flavors into this. This is like the basic one, and then just add flavors. You know, add some strawberry.
we've
Add some
done espresso. I've done espresso whipped cream.
Mm,
Yeah. So I mean, there's all kinds of things. You know what I mean? When we talk about adding chocolate into stuff, all right, chocolate accents a lot of things, and of course, it's going to accent what we have to drink tonight.
yes. Oh, geez, I wonder what it is.
So we were talking about this. We were going to get a third, but all right, Gwen and I Gwen's starting to cut my budget back on what I spend on this show. And I didn't think to go get the small bottles. I should have done that to get the small bottles. Instead, we got the large. Now, our favorite champagne, or should I say, it's not champagne.
Sparkling wine.
Sparkling wine is technically because it is not made in Champagne, France.
Correct.
Our favorites is Mumm.
Okay.
All right. Mumm in Napa, right? And we went to visit Mumm in 2014 for the first time. I remember it was a rainy day. We went into the Mumm, and I've gone back twice since, right? And I love their place. But on my 50th birthday, right, my wife put together this whole thing for us on with a limo in Napa, and we went to Shandong, right?
Yeah.
Because of how, I mean, Shandong is really, it's a done up place. It's just a really done up place. You know what I mean? Celebratory place. Everybody comes there. It's a party zone. I'm not as impressed with their champagne, right? But to me, those are the two greats out of Napa,
right?
In my opinion. So yeah, and we both got the Brut.
Yep.
All right. I just happen to have a full bottle of it. And we both got the Mumm. All right. And the Mumm, it's the Brut Prestige that we went with on Mumm.
Yes, that's the one I have.
We've done the rosés as well. Have you had the rosés? I'm a fan of like the rosés.
Yeah, I haven't found a rosé that really grabs me. I've tried a few different ones. There is one that is oh my goodness, it's in no, it's not St. Paul. It's in, oh my goodness, I've been there before. It is next to Canby. I can't remember exactly it's a suburb. It's not even a suburb. It's a rural town. Yeah. And there's this winery there, and they had the first rosé that I said, okay, I can probably drink this. Very particular. Willamette Valley Vineyards has what is one of my favorite sparklings. The other one that I'll bring out in a moment is Saint Michelle. They are in Washington State.
Yes, I've had Saint Michelle before.
Okay, so Saint Michelle, I got to go there with one of my good friends. She was being moved from being stationed in Washington back to Colorado, and she was doing this tour through and doing some wine tasting. And since I'm in Oregon, she's like, come on up. I'm like, yes. So got to have some girl time with her. It was a lot of fun. And one of her friends is a member at various wineries in that area of Washington. So got to experience some backstage, if you will, and discounts. So for a wedding, I had gotten a whole case of the Saint Michelle. And when I was coming around to get my glass of sparkling wine, they're giving me cooks, and I'm like, oh no, why are you giving me this? It's like, I want the good shit. Is what I said.
I want the good. Wait a minute, and I'm not. I don't mean to put Cooks down as a business, but I'm sorry. Theirs is not the greatest tasting celebratory champagne.
No, it was. I mean, if you're mixing it with orange juice, it'll pass.
Yeah, it's all right.
Drinking like that, it's like no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say these two champagnes that we picked out of Napa have got to be. You can buy them in the store.
Yeah.
In a grocery store, but they're better ones, right? They're going to be the better you find in a grocery store.
Right.
Truthfully, I have a favorite here in Texas. We have a place where we're VIP at is here, and they have an almond champagne that we love.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I actually was able to find the one from Temecula up here at last. So I was pretty excited. It was at Total Wine and More. But yeah, that almond champagne was one from Southern California that I really, really liked. And I want to compare it to yours because it's when you find something you like, you want to have it again. So at that wedding, I'm like, oh, it's in the back. I know it's back there. So that's what I want. And she was and I'm like, look, I bought a case. I want the good shit. So don't you be telling me no.
Yeah.
And so it was like the Latina in me was coming out. So she got and poured it. It's like, oh, here's the orange juice. I said, I'm not going to ruin it with
I'm not putting orange juice in that one. No.
Definitely not. So that's how you know you have something good. You do not need to mix it with anything else.
Yes.
You just know that it's good because you can drink it like that and it just has delicious taste. And so these two, I think I've had Mum before. It's been a while though, just because I've tried other things. I had, when you have local, sometimes you go with what's local. At least I tried to. I know you tried to also. So when I saw both of these in splits, I'm like, yes. I'm like, what's the third one? I had it written down, but I didn't take it with me.
Yeah, the third one we were going to do was Schramsberg, which is it's iffy as to whether we can find that one. Like I'm pretty sure if I went to the liquor store, I could get it there.
Okay.
But Schramsberg that's still a vineyard we have not visited, Gwen and I together.
Okay.
Yet. All right, and we always pick on it because her last name was Schramp. So we always say we're going to go. Anyway, we didn't have it. But. So anyway, what I did with chocolate today is, again, you're looking at budget Tim versus like extraordinaire Gladys here.
Well, that's because I was cooking. Otherwise, I wouldn't have all this stuff.
So I did get the chocolate covered strawberries, which is a typical. Every grocery store, all the places make them, right? I got them from the grocery store, and I got a small pack of them. One of my favorite chocolates of always, because I'm originally from Pennsylvania, is Hershey's. So I got 3 different Hershey's,
Nice.
4 different Hershey's. I've got regular, the Crackle, dark chocolate, and Mr. Goodbar. And almost always, I have a packet of these around the house somewhere. But what is the one thing we almost all cheap guys like me go and get for their wives on Valentine's Day is the heart box of chocolate.
At least you're getting the good stuff there. You got
this is not a cheap box. All right.
No.
It was low.
$24.99.
I don't know what I paid dollar-wise. I want to say I probably paid $15 for it, but it's an efficient price. But Ghirardelli makes good chocolates.
Yes.
Right. So this is their. I've had Ghirardelli straight from the factory, which is
I have them there. Yep.
Yeah, as opposed to, and this is what it is. It comes in a heart shape.
Beautiful.
And they're all heart chocolates. And I thought, man, I would. That's what I was going to get. And my other chocolate on here is Girl Scout cookies.
Of course, got to show the love.
I was
Did they
going to make
start early this year?
Huh?
Did they start early this year?
I think they did because she told me her last day was the last day of February.
Okay.
So Chloe from Microchicks actually delivered mine.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She's a singer here in the Dallas area. I know, she's a young girl. And she just put it on her Facebook page. And I'm like, I'll buy some. Right. Okay. And they hand delivered them to the house yesterday. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was cute. Last year, there was a post on the people of Wilsonville. And there was a couple of, actually, there was more than one post, but some of them had a lot of activity. So I went to the one that didn't have as much activity. And I said, hey, and so that's who I bought from. And it ended up being a brownie. And it was like, she was the cutest little thing, came to the office. Her dad was with her and she delivered it. She's all shy. And, and then I was when she saw how excited I was and, she lit up and she was all happy too. And it's like, thank you so much. High five. And I got my cookies last year, but yeah, they got delivered. So that was kind of nice to have that different, where before most of the time you had to go somewhere or you had to get shipped or you could buy them at the grocery store. But having that option of, do you want a Girl Scout or a brownie to deliver? And it's like, well, yeah, because there were no brownies where I grew up. There was no Girl Scouts.
I wanted to support someone I knew who was doing it, right? I didn't want to just stop by. Hats off to the girls who do it at the grocery store.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I want some personal girl who knows me to go, Mr. Tim, would you buy cookies from me?
Yeah.
I'm all in, right? There you got me. But the idea of just, casually go and buy them on the grocery store, I'm not a buyer that way. Nope, not at all.
No, I for 6 years, my friend Tiffany, she would wear her Girl Scout outfit to school, and I would buy. It's in 1 year, I think it was 8th grade. Every day I would buy a box of Thin Mints, and every day I would eat a box of Thin Mints. And then when I learned to throw them in the freezer when I was older, that was delicious. I don't eat as many cookies as I used to, and now I've gone away from the Thin Mints. I still like them, but trying other things, I've grown to like other things. But she got a full ride through the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
So the Girl Scouts, they teach a lot of things. That's business 101. They're learning with the cookies, how to sell, how to market, how to place orders. I mean, they are learning from a young age, and that is not something that is found in schools. So girls that go through the Girl Scouts and go through that, that's an experience in itself, and that's wonderful. And then if they go all the way through, then they can get a scholarship, and that's also amazing. I mean, to help a young woman, graduate college. I've been through some of the fundraising that they've done here in Portland, and it is a big production. I mean, you have 500 people plus at these events. So, yeah.
So let's break out the champagne.
All right. Which one first, Mum or Shandong?
Let's do the Shandong first.
Okay.
It's lower up or up there further on the alphabet. Okay. So you got, I'm sure yours are just the twist offs, right?
I am not sure. It could be. One thing to always remember when you are opening up a bottle is that you always want to twist the bottle, not the cork. Yes. So, and then another thing that I do is that I always throw a washcloth or whatever it may be, and then you twist and you twist. And sometimes it's harder than others to open. But
so I untwist a little with twisty.
Yeah. So this is a twist off. So yes.
Yeah.
But always make sure that it's away from you, away from other people, away from glass, and
likely, as you're saying that, I'm making sure I do not damage my computer. I'd rather damage my ceiling.
There you go.
So as I
this smells very nice. I do like the smell of it.
I took the white web mat off, so now I'm going to open. When we get the pop on mine, I'm sure. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Love the sound of that. I love the sound of that pop. One of my favorite sounds in the world. So, and of course, I have champagne glasses, which we always have in our house.
And one thing to look at is the bubbles. When you have a high-end quality sparkling or champagne, a champagne will have one stream of bubbles going up, just one. This one has more than one. And you have less bubbles than I do, and I'm pretty sure it's because
we're just not showing it as well.
Yeah, mine has quite a few a lot
more bubbles on yours. I've got 3 streams of bubbles going up, but the camera's just not showing it that well.
And you know what I think it is, the difference between bottling a big bottle and the small bottles. The process is slightly different. There's probably less carbonation. So cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh. Citrusy, it hit me right here. Now I got to see how it tastes with my
right there, man.
Bourguignon here.
What should I have first? Ghirardelli.
I'm having savory first. Okay. That does cleanse the palate pretty well with the beef bourguignon. That's really yummy. And I'm going to move on to the, I'm thinking the dates are going to be a little bit more rich, is what I'm thinking. And see here, you can see the date on the inside and the chocolate on the outside.
Yep. The Ghirardelli really puts a creaminess. And the second I put after having the chocolate in my mouth, I put the champagne in, and it's like a fizz. It like
Mhm.
You get that?
I did. Okay, so now I'm going to go next. I'm going to go with this chocolate cake, which is not that sweet at all. So I'm going to have it before I add any heavy whipping cream or anything like that. I'm just going to have just the cake and the sparkling.
Girl Scout cookies.
And then chocolate covered strawberries with a little bit of heavy whipping cream.
The one thing I didn't bring was whipping cream that I should. But the strawberry, I always like it because you not only get the strawberry, or you only get chocolate, but you get the strawberry.
Strawberries, chocolate, champagne. So one of the things that you can do that will help you do something a little extra is get a little bit of Hershey syrup. And then I'm going to, you just put it on the edge of your glass. And then the other thing that I didn't do was that I didn't, if you buy the, like the sprinkles, you can get heart-shaped sprinkles. You then dip the the chocolate in the heart-shaped sprinkles. So that way you have heart-shaped sprinkles and the chocolate in here. So that when you are, and then the other thing you can do is put a strawberry slice in there. So then you have your strawberry, you have your champagne, and your chocolate all together. So then you get that, because that's what I did when I get the strawberry, the chocolate, and the champagne. You get to have that in a glass. So a little bit different, but these strawberries are absolutely delicious. If you can find local strawberries, get your local strawberries because they're going to be the sweetest right now. And if not, make sure that they're as red as you can get them. And sometimes you might have to get 2 little pints and find the most ripe ones if you're not going to get them already made. And then they usually, right now at Kroger, they have the melting chips right next to the produce. I had to go back because I forgot the mushrooms for my beef bourguignon, and the whole area with the berries were gone. And so they were replenishing the strawberries, the raspberries. I was like, wow.
Yeah. We got them when we were at Kroger. The lady was making them. We got she made the set and handed it to us.
Nice.
So I know, but I did get them yesterday because of the fact yesterday was our shopping day.
Right. That's when I got these two also. Actually I got them on Saturday, and then I made them yesterday. But the strawberries were in perfect shape. I mean, that gorgeous red color. I mean, just you can have these strawberries without any chocolate. Just, look at that color. It's gorgeous red. See right there. Yeah, that red is just, there was no green on them. Just strawberries with heavy whipping cream. You're good to go.
I'm doing the Hershey's dark chocolate. I did the crackle, now the Hershey's dark chocolate.
Oh my goodness, I think that's going to be my favorite. It's going to be strawberries. And
so far, strawberries are my favorite. It's probably because it has both the fruit as opposed to everything else I have is chocolate. One last thing before I take my last swig, and that is the Thin Mint. It's been in the freezer for 24 hours.
Oh, of course. I don't know which this one is. Oh, okay. So this is a milk chocolate. I think there's a caramel inside. Butterscotch.
Oh, with the mint is best.
Nothing like being on a podcast and seeing my client drive through. So, hey, nerds to go. They take care of my computer needs, all my IT and stuff.
So I have a little hack for you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
No.
Oh my goodness, that wasn't too bad. I do like that, and I did like adding the chocolate to the rim of my
I
glass.
wished I'd have thought of that, and I don't have any here. That's one thing I should have got. So now I'm going to open my wonderfully chilled bottle of Mum.
And you are able to chill in the freezer for about an hour.
Yes. Don't go past an hour.
Yeah, because then it's
not pretty.
No, yeah. If your significant other spouse has ever left a bottle of or a can of soda in the freezer, and then you have soda everywhere, that is exactly what's going to happen with the sparkling. Now the Mum, that one did have a regular cork.
Yeah. I figured Mum would do that.
Mum's the word.
Ah, come on, twist, baby. Oh, I gotta type.
And I'm like very particular. I mean, I'll put my hand on top as I'm taking off the little crown. Oh, nicely done.
Ooh, I love seeing the cloud come out of that one.
Chocolate out of the way. Oh,
I'm going to do it right in front of the camera. Watch the bubbles this time and see what we can see. Still can't see.
Oh, there you go. I can see them. Pull it back just a little bit.
I've got 3 or 4 screens coming up on that one.
I see it. Yep.
So I'm going to go through the same gauntlet with this one. First of all, I'm going to do a taste of it to see what the Mum is compared to the Shandong.
There it goes.
Ah, I love that pop. The Shandong is a little sweeter. Tell me if you get that too when you taste it. Just tasting it by itself before I put any chocolate to my lips. Yeah. The smaller bottles, and this is cool, convenient. When you do get champagne, try to get the smaller bottles. It's the bigger bottles don't. I mean, unless you're pouring for a lot. If you're just doing for one person, them small bottles, you're going to get a lot more fizz to them.
Yep.
True. What do you think compared? If you think about compared it to the Shandong?
It is the Shandong is definitely sweeter. And I don't mean sweet, like a Prosecco or an Asti. Astis and Proseccos are a lot sweeter. That's not my jam. I like Brutes. But it does have a slightly sweeter taste, but not a sweet that I don't like. Yeah. I am okay with this. The sweetness in it is nice. This one actually was sweet, but it also hit me right here. It was just that initial ooh. The Mum did not do that. But it has a nice clean taste to it. Yeah, it has a slight. I think Shandong has more of a citrusy than that initial hit and that flavor is more citrus forward than Mum is. And so if you like
citrus flavor, I was going to say you almost go to like non-citrusy seltzer. Imagine you're drinking like a San Pellegrino, one that has like an orange slice into it, one that has nothing.
Yeah.
Shandong's more the orange lemon slice.
Yep.
Plain, right?
Yes. Very nicely put. Thank you. So now I'm going to go with my beef bourguignon, which took hours and hours to make, and it was a hit. Sean made, oh my goodness.
It's so good with that chocolate.
Really?
Yeah, it really, you know what I mean? You know, where it might not be sweeter, it really marries with the chocolate. Really got great. I like that. So I forget what I did second.
Mm. Oh my goodness. Wow. I think mom enhanced the flavor of my beef bourguignon. It just gave it more flavor. And I think it's because the Shandon had more of that citrus. And
So
this one was not.
it brought sweetness out of the savory, is what you're saying. Am I
Yeah, I
right?
think that chocolate came forward. I think it pulled the chocolate out. And it's not that it tasted sweet, y'all. It's not that. It's the flavors of the beef bourguignon just came out. It was just like, oh my goodness, taste this sauce that has been simmering for hours and hours and hours. And Sean said that this was slightly better than his Salisbury steak that he made on Saturday.
Ah,
He says it's one of my better dishes. And I'm like, oh, and I cook pretty decent, but this was one that he really appreciated because he's had some high end, he's worked at restaurants in the past and has had some very high end food. And this one was one of those flavors that just went poof. And I think the chocolate had something to do with it. I really do. Because how often will you have something like this that has chocolate in it? You don't.
mm-mm.
Mm. Mm.
I'm gonna finish this whole strawberry before I taste.
I'm going to move on to my fig. My fig, oh my goodness, my date. Hey, look, I had a date tonight. But no. He's too busy enjoying to laugh at my corny joke.
Date for the night.
Hmm. Yep, I had a date. You got
Yeah,
your
we talked about that already, Craig. You should have been here earlier.
great picture of you, Craig. You're looking handsome there.
The real brains behind our show. Just saying. We wouldn't have this show if it wasn't for him, really.
Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, Craig.
Oh, there it is. It's this one.
Yeah.
There we go.
So,
And almost
so I
definitely that.
finished the whole strawberry. Now I'm going to take and let the strawberry soak in with it.
There you go. Okay, so strawberry snacks with the heavy whipping cream. Ooh, my goodness. My whipping cream is
Okay.
getting everywhere.
You know how you know how I said how the Shandon really, I mean, it kind of fizzed up your mouth?
Yeah.
After doing the strawberry with the mum, I didn't get that. I got some of it when I did the Ghirardelli, but I didn't get it when I did the strawberry that time. I don't know.
The for me, because I have the strawberry with the chocolate and the heavy whipping cream,
Mm-hmm.
the Shandon just kind of, it was nice and mellow. It was in the same wavelength, if you will. With the mum said, yeah, I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way I felt it, is that the Shandon with the strawberries just flowed very nicely.
It did it with all the chocolate, so, but it just didn't with the strawberry.
And I think it's because of that sweetness.
Uh-huh.
But the mum went a lot better with my beef bourguignon on that one. So it just depends. Are you doing savory or are you doing sweet? So we're going to move on to the cake. And with the cake, I'm going to add a little bit of the heavy whipping cream this time, see if it makes a difference. Because, of course, that sweetness there.
Oh, but I just got to say, both of them go really well with Girl Scout cookies. And ladies and gentlemen, if you tuned into tonight's podcast, you find out that the greatest mix in the world is Girl Scout cookies and champagne.
Don't Girl Scout cookies go with everything, kind of like bacon?
Yeah.
There is bacon in here.
Okay, I don't
Bacon and chocolate.
I think he left, but I got chocolate on your shirt, Craig. I'm going to have to clean it.
Oops. It's what
Not
happened.
on purpose.
At least not this time.
I didn't know. I didn't.
Was he
And I,
checking in on you to make sure you were wearing the jersey?
He probably was, but he knew I was going to. I mean, come on, I keep my word. All right, that is the thing about Craig and I. We will keep our words to each other.
Right. Well, I have a friend that is a Chiefs fan, and I said, "Are you going to be up in the area? Can I borrow a jersey?" It's like I have a hat. I was like, "Can I borrow it?" I was trying to bring in anything, but I am wearing red, so
Yeah. But
red.
wait a minute, I still have a Chiefs mask.
Really?
Yeah, because I hate wearing masks.
That's funny. I have to laugh at that. That's
Okay, and there's only one time that one person said, "Well, you can't wear that mask here," and he was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I'm like, "Fine, no mask." And he goes, "No, you have to wear a mask in the hospital." Okay, fine, I'm wearing a Chiefs mask.
that is a funny thing. I will tell you when I had joined Rotary, because I joined Rotary in 2020, and then I was given the option hat, shirt, or mask, and I said I want the mask. So I was able to wear the mask, and it says Rotary on it. Well, I found out like 6 or 7 months later that they were only lending me the mask. I was supposed to return what they, and I was like, well, I understand returning a hat or a shirt. I don't know that I'd want a mask back from anybody, even if it's been washed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I've been wearing
somebody else
it.
wore. No, not
And
happening.
then it's like, no, go ahead and keep it. I said, yeah, think I've washed it like 5 times already. Do you really want it back?
Yeah.
I'll iron it, but yeah. But this was adding the heavy whipping cream to my banana chocolate loaf was a good call. I really like that. And the mom went well with that one. I think because I hadn't added the heavy whipping cream to Shandong, this one I was kind of so I will say Shandong did better with strawberries, chocolate, and the whipped cream.
Yes.
Mom has done better with everything else.
Now I'm going to first I'm going to rinse my palate, and then I'm going to taste them side by side without anything, just to see which compared.
Mm-hmm.
First, I am going to go with the mum because that's where I was just at. And now I'm going to compare it to Shandong.
I got more fizz from the Shandong.
I'm going to have to say I like the Shandong better. And I'm normally a mum guy. So if we look at the colors, I was trying to compare the colors.
The mum has a little bit more color than the Shandong on my end. So this is the mum, this is the Shandong.
Yeah.
So my mum has a little bit more color than the Shandong from my perspective when I really look at it. Not by much, but just a little bit. The Shandong had more bubbles than my mum, but it's to be expected from a split.
Yeah.
I really like my Shandong with that strawberries. I really did. It just beautiful taste. But the mum went better with my savory dinner.
Your dinner.
And the thing is that I am more likely to drink a sparkling or a champagne with a dinner than I would with sweets. I'm not a big sweet eater, but I will do strawberries. Mm-hmm. That's the thing, absolutely. I love strawberries. I will add strawberries to my sparkling. I will add strawberries to, I'll do strawberries mixing in with heavy whipping cream or with yogurt. So Greek yogurt. So what you do is you slice up your strawberries, you add a little bit of sugar or stevia, whatever you want. The purpose is to get the juices of the strawberry out, to get that sweetness. And once you let them sit for 10, 15 minutes, then you add your Greek yogurt, your regular yogurt. You can even add sour cream or heavy whipping cream. And I would say go with regular heavy whipping cream. Don't do that, sorry, Cool Whip. You have too much crap in you. So do something more natural. Mix in your strawberries. Let them sit for a bit. Oh my goodness, you will have a delicious dessert. get a pound cake. I love Sara Lee's frozen pound cake. You let it thaw out, you slice it, and you put your strawberries over it. Guess what? You have a delicious dessert that is not overly sweet and not overly full of calories. Will you have calories? Of course. You're putting a pound cake in front of you, and there's some sugar in your heavy whipping cream. But if you go the route of Greek yogurt, strawberries, and pound cake, guess what? Your calorie count versus something else is minuscule. So you can adjust, based on your dietary needs or what you want to do. Because even though I'm not a big sweet person, and I've been told that sometimes there's not an ounce of romance in me, I still will. Little
I
bit.
will question that because I found romance in you.
Aw.
Yeah. All I had to do was talk whiskey with you, and all of a sudden you fell in love with me.
True story on that. True story on that. You got to talk the right love language to me, and it's called.
See, Sean, I know how to romance her.
He does make a mean cocktail, I will have to say. So, if you do buy a big bottle and you happen to not drink the whole thing, then what do you do? Oh my goodness. How do you make a bottle survive?
First of all, before we make the bottle survive, taste that one and see how it survived.
Okay, so this is Chateau Saint Michel, which, of course, I've been talking about. I opened this bottle, I forgot when. I put my little stopper. This is a stopper. This is supposed to. So, what this does, if you notice, if it is put on properly, it is holding down the carbonation in here. Tim there has a different style. So, there's various styles depending on how much you want to spend.
I have two different ones, but they're both the same idea.
Okay, there you go. So this is supposed to help it. So what I did is that I brought this one because I said, I don't know if it's held, but since we're drinking champagne, might as well try it out. So I brought my Pop Fizz drink for this particular occasion to see if there is still some fizz in here. I don't know. And there is still a little bit. So we're going to see if... So it's not as fuzzy, it's not as fizzy.
There's some in there.
But there is still some bubbles in there. You might have a hard time looking because I'm in the picture, but there is a little bit. So definitely not where it was. The fuzz is mainly gone. It's been sitting there way too long, but I wanted to try it to see. Now it tastes like apple juice.
Yeah. I've never seen an industry standard, but I personally think, and tell me how you feel about this, is if you haven't drank it in 7 days, dump it.
Yeah.
That's 7 days is like, you know what I mean? That's kind of the timeline that if you haven't drank finished that bottle of champagne in 7 days, first of all, you shouldn't have opened a bigger bottle. You should have got a smaller bottle.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In our house, we open a bottle, it's gone in like 6 hours. Yeah.
So I used 3 leftover bottles of wine because there was only this much left into this, which equated to a cup and a half, I guess it was. There was a cookie recipe that called for 2 cups of red wine. I would have halved that recipe anyway because that's way too many cookies. But it called for red wine. It called for chocolate. And I was going to make it, but I ran out of the leftover wine. So I said, I think I have leftover wine here. But really, turn it into cooking wine. So if this has flattened out for you, use it for cooking. Make a shrimp scampi. Throw some wine in there. Make a chicken with some kind of lemony sauce. Throw some sparkling wine in there. So don't necessarily throw out your wine after 7 days.
No, it's not ideal to drink by itself. No. It should be then used for cooking. Yes.
Right. So one of the ways to keep your wine a little bit longer than today is 1, keep it chilled. Number 2, if you can at all costs, use one of these little doohickeys or what Tim has. The other
No,
one,
no, we also have the stoppers that pump in for the wine that we have the pump,
right.
right?
The other
But
one
now
that
these-
works, but it only works for about 2 days, is a spoon.
Yeah.
That
These
is
ones here-
weird, but it works. It'll hold 1 to 2 days depending on the wine
Yeah.
or the sparkling.
So I'm going to do mine, and then you do yours for setting it back in. All I do with this, and both of mine are the same why, they just look different, is I stick it in,
That's what she
all
said.
right, and then I just give it a little push and get it down over.
Oh, I
the-
heard it click.
And then once it's clicked, all right, it is good. And this is at the point that I would keep it for, the 5 to 7 days.
Right.
All right.
So for
Truthfully,
mine,
in our house, a bottle of champagne's open. It doesn't last 2 days. We finish champagne in this house.
I forgot about it. It's down here. So mine, you just plug it in and then you bring it down. Make sure it is below the two little, there's a little
Mhm.
lip right here. Make sure it's below that because it will pop out. I've had somebody that did not go all the way down. It popped right out. It defeats the purpose. It is supposed to stay right there. It's not supposed to easily come off.
Now we have two of them. One of them, this one here, is same concept as the other one, but the way the grip is very light to click.
Oh, nice. I
So-
like that.
Yeah, it's and I have the wrapper on this one. So let me remove the wrapper first of all to show it. All right.
So something like this is going to cost anywhere between $7 to $10, depending on where you're getting it and the what you're getting. But for the most part, 7 to 10.
Yeah.
What Tim has is going to be a little bit more.
These ones here we got from Mom when we were there.
Okay.
So I push it down as tight as can be and I push it until it clicks. Same concept as this one here all over. I think this one works better because it fits more comfortably.
Okay.
All right.
My
but the same
original one, this is a secondary one, doesn't have a name, but the first one I ever purchased was from Chateau Saint Michel.
Yeah.
But if you get and keep it cold, if you get a higher or a more expensive, or if it's a true champagne, it will last a little bit longer, especially if you do whether you do the spoon or you do one of these, it will last a few more days, but it is still not going to be past the 7-day mark.
Yeah, I have never stored these before I opened them. I stored them in the refrigerator like this. I won't store them on side. I will store them up and down in the refrigerator after I put this on.
Right.
With the original, the original cork into them, yes, I will put them on their side in the refrigerator because that's how I keep them in my wine refrigerator. Right. But once this is out, no, I will not store them at a side. I will put them up down.
Straight up.
No.
And the thing is that you can do so much with it. If you're like, hey, my significant other doesn't really care for it, add orange juice, cranberry juice, grapefruit juice. Add some fruit at the bottom of it, some strawberries, some raspberries, some kind of berries. Put some chocolate on the, at the end.
Chocolate on the rim was a good idea. The other thing we do is, we take the what do they call it when they take the skins off the orange and put in?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
What do they call that? I forget. Gwen would know if she was here.
Well, you're peeling the ends, so you're just stripping the outside.
Yeah, it's like a strip that we put in, and I can't think what they call that. Zest. It's zest.
No. A zest is when you get it and you actually zest it. I have a zester. So it's all these little pokies, and then you zest the orange.
I know. We have this spiral zest thing.
Okay.
Like that. It pulls the spiral off and puts.
Those are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But just add some juice to it of some kind. And one, it's good for you because you're putting juice in it.
Yeah.
And number two, it makes it look pretty.
Yeah. So but I mean, I remember the first time I ever had champagne, all right, or it was a Prosecco, and I had orange juice with it. It was which they call mimosa. Now, I've had it over the years with pineapple, all right. We actually had a breakfast restaurant that we used to go to that they made their own orange juice, and they used to do $4 mimosas on weekends. And that was like, I remember, because we would go on Sundays, and they couldn't serve alcohol until 10 a.m., so we would go in and get our seat at 9:30. at 10 a.m. sharp, they showed up at our table with mimosas because that was our guideline. We had to have mimosas the second they could serve them. And that was called Coffee House Cafe. They're here in the North Dallas area.
Nice.
So a great restaurant. They're ways from us now.
If you haven't done your due diligence because you forgot or whatever it is, don't try to make a reservation at this point. It's not going to happen. It really is not. So what do? You know what? You go, you order some, if you're not a cook, I mean, if you're me, I'm going to cook, for hours and hours on end. But if you are not me and you say, I don't cook or whatever it is, order something early enough to where you can pick it up, something that you can reheat. Get some lasagna, pick up a frozen lasagna, throw it in the oven, get some garlic bread, pick up a bottle of whatever the favorite drink is. It doesn't have to be sparkling wine. It could be whatever it is, even if it's Martinelli's or just their favorite drink, whatever that might be. Pick up some strawberries, some flowers, and it doesn't have to be the roses. Although right now, if you go to Kroger, I think they have like a $10 special going on.
That's where I'm going to get my mom's flowers tomorrow.
There you go. And do it in the morning. Pick up flowers in the morning before everybody, gets to them. But, just spending time, because I'm the one who's horrible and has not a, romantic bone in my body. But do the things, show the person that you love them. What is important to them? Do those things, whatever that is. And if it means it's your kids, then spend time with the kiddos, make, some fun games with the kids, and if it's your pets, you know what? Have a romantic dinner with your darn pet. It's, even if it means you sit on the floor with them and you toast to them, whatever it is, do what's right for you. Don't feel that, I'm left out. No, there's always somebody that's there for you. And sometimes it's that, fuzzy creature that always curls up to you and shows you love.
Yeah. And truthfully, I mean, you can still, with the technology you have today with Uber Eats and DoorDash and there's 2 or 3 other ones out there, Grubhub. Mm-hmm. You probably can order a very decent meal and have it delivered to your house, all right, within an amount of time, and then just take and plate it up, right? And
even if you have to reheat it, who cares? Nobody's going to know. Pick something that can easily. Don't get anything fried. That takes a moment. You have to throw that in the oven. Although you could just throw it in the oven and say, "Hey, look what I made."
Yeah. Do you remember Mrs. Doubtfire? The very first day, he screwed up dinner, and what did he do? He ordered out. So
there was a show way back when where it's like, oh yeah, throw it in the oven, and she didn't take it out of the containers.
Yeah,
that was a show from 1970 something. It's an old thing. So, you know what? It doesn't matter, and if you don't do squat, that's okay too, because sometimes that's just perfectly fine.
Yep. So Craig made this comment. I waited till now. We love you too, Craig.
Keep that up. You know what? I'm gonna get a picture of that. So put that one up and let me get a picture. Oh, hold on 1 second. We got to put the hearts up with Craig telling us how much he loves us. So let me get that. Oh, here we are. We love you, Craig. Because if it wasn't for you, you're for us.
So, I hope you have a good Valentine's Day. I hope you and Sean do something that's, just you. All right. I really do hope that for you guys, because I know, just like Gwen and I, you're different. You're up in age and you care about each other, So I hope you guys have a great time and celebrate your time together.
Ditto. And I know you already did your celebration, but I know y'all will show each other's love in your own special way.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, as we close out, all right, this week, guys, Simple Easy Marketing is me. I'm Tim Gillette. Simple Easy Events is the main thing you find out about me. Go to simpleeasyevents.com. It's a virtual event held every month to teach you about marketing. My co-host is?
This is Gladys Beltwell, Insurance by Design. I am helping small business owners with their employee benefits to help them attract and retain quality staff. You can find me at insurancedesignpros.com, serving Oregon, Washington and California. But guess what? If you have questions and you're outside those states, call me anyway. Get a hold of me. Ask your questions. I will find you somebody in your state that will take great care of you.
All right. Until next week, we'll have another great episode. All right, you guys, thank you guys for tuning in, and we appreciate you, our listeners. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, go over to Like the Way You Drink podcast on YouTube, as well as Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, y'all.